Hello everyone, I all hope you're exactly having a wonderful, blessed evening and a very much of a very great day indeed. As you can see, guys, it is completely cloudy and it is completely also raining as well, as in completely literally raining, as in literally raining. So I all hope you guys are dressing warm and I all hope you guys are very much happy and everything else. Guys, I'm truly grateful for you guys viewing and watching my episodes. It gratefully, truly means a lot to me. So God bless you all so much. On today's episode, we're to talk about Joe, who is a dark druid and a high-ranking official in Dark Masters Empire that wants to conquer and rule the known universe and the known sacred worlds of the sacred universe and as well as planet Earth and the rest of humanity. So let's get to it. Many centuries ago, Joe the Dark Druid remained a very much of a faithful servant in Dark Master's empire. He continued to exactly supply the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with more destructive compatible technology in exchange for the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to hand over the worlds that they've conquered and the known worlds and the known worlds and the known planets that they've conquered for so many centuries and for so many millennia as well. During at that time, Joe Joe became the high leader of a group of dark and formidable, powerful dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, who serve him under his current leadership. During at that rate, Joe the Dark Druid and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful and the Dark Druids will continue experimenting with shadow energy and all the aspects of dark technology in order to making sure that Dark Master's empire becomes the next powerful dominant force in the entire known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence. Joe the Dark Druid became very quietly pleased with his master on the 20th on the 20th century when Dark Master's forces began to lay waste to the Four Nation Hunters. Joe the Dark Druid was quietly present, able to exactly see his master, able to exactly see Dark Master lay waste to the Four Nation Hunters, attempting to conquer the sacred forest and the other known worlds. But the attempt was quietly thwarted due to the intervention of a powerful, formidable, ancient super villain known as Master Shadow, who exactly arrived in the nick of time to save the Four Nation Hunters. During at that rate, Dark Master and Master Shadow exactly came together, able to realizing that they can exactly help each other with their goals and with their mission. To this proposition, Master Shadow, who is an original member of the Order of the Five that decides the fate of humanity, that was to become the sole rulers of the universe and of the sacred world as well, has exactly gave Dark Master a proposition that'll be unlikely to be more powerful and more very quietly interesting. Exactly a proposition which Dark Master can exactly rule humanity and conquer planet Earth if the Order of the Five exactly rules the known worlds and the known sacred cities and the known sacred cities and known nations throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred universe as well. And in the process, Dark Master will exactly continue to conquering the Mixel universe, the sacred universe, the over universe, the dark universe, the light universe, the star universe, the golden universe, the robotics universe, the star universe, the robotics universe, and the golden universe, and also the sacred universe. In a process, Dark Master was quietly intrigued with this proposition, and he gladly exactly accepted the offer and the proposition given by the Order of the Five, and he gladly accepted that they'll become allies. During at that time, Joe the Dark Druid was quietly present with the new alliance formed with the Order of the Five and also as well with Dark Master as well. Over the following centuries and years, Joe the Dark Druid exactly came to Earth throughout the year in supplying another terrorist organization known as the Outer Circle, that is quietly founded and led by supervillain named as Cammy and Caroline, who are both humans and are very skilled in dark and destructive technologies, and exactly made up with Joe the Dark Druid, who is a high-ranking official and a servant in Dark Master's empire. Joe the Dark Druid exactly agreed to help the Outer Circle, goals, agreed to help Kenny and Caroline advance with their goals, to advance with their goals to conquering and ruling planet Earth with an iron fist. As long as his master will exactly be able to, will be able to exactly, will be, that will, that, in other words, will exactly pave a way for Dark Master to become the sole ruler of humanity through the chaos and through the destruction that the Outer Circle has highly created. The Outer Circle is a very, very powerful organization, very powerful secretive terrorist organization that is quite led by two supervillains, Kenny and Caroline, who exactly use the organization's resources and also power to also power and also using alien destructive technology in order to create chaos and destruction through humanity so they can become the sole rulers of planet Earth in the chaos of the destruction as well. Despite this, Joe the Doctor was very quietly pleased as he continued supplying the Outer Circle with destructive and compatible technology, which can exactly help them rob banks and jewelry stores and mining raids throughout planet Earth cities and capital cities as well. On the first on the on the 18th of January, Joe the Doctor had completely teleported. Straightly to planet Earth and continued supplying the Outer Circle with destructive and compatible technology from Dark Master's empire. During that raid, they quietly got the attention of the Free People and also of Warboy, who completely exactly took them down. The Outer Circle agents and enforcers exactly used the destructive technology to gain the upper hand within a battle, but Joe the Doctor was quietly unpleased as a Soul Boy exactly gained the upper hand. Joe the Doctor would exactly through a very powerful technology that can exactly gain sole control of Soul Boy, which he exactly told the members of the Outer Circle that Soul Boy under his official control could become the most powerful elite enforcer in Dark Master's empire that will exactly help him pave a way for him to conquer and control humanity in the process, as well as the known universe and as well as the sacred universe throughout the chaos he's about to destroy. Unfortunately, Soul Boy was quietly cleansed over the technology's corruption that Joe the Doctor would completely able to throw and corrupt that Soul Boy, and the Free People and Warboy completely exactly took down the Outer Circle's chiefs, founders, took down the Outer Circle's villains and leaders, and were able to exactly send him in custody. But Joe exactly opened up a portal and completely told Warboy and the rest of the Free People that the war is far from over and that it will soon exactly begin, and that it will soon exactly take place, and that it will soon exactly begin, and that the age of darkness will soon return. After that, Joel exactly threw a powerful grenade straightly at the heroes, and he completely entered the portal and completely teleported himself away from that time. On the 1st of February, when the news of the original death of the Lolo Magic created a power vacuum within the Shadow Empire, every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander were secretly forming alliances with ancient groups of supervillains known as a Court of Nature, Lord of the Five, Lord of the Six, Lord of the Seven, the Founders, the Unholy Alliance, the Sacred Circle, and Sacred Five as well, in order in return to supply them with destructive technology. These ancient groups of supervillains will continue to supply them with more worlds and more planets under their control. On the 9th of February, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders arrived on the planet's surface to meet up with Joe, the Dark Druid, telling him that they'll continue supplying Dark Master's forces and the rest of these empires with more worlds and more planets that they've heavily conquered, and that they exactly pledge their allegiance and their loyalty to Dark Master and the rest of these forces as well. And Joe was completely pleased and very reluctantly happy with this, as in completely, very much reluctantly happy with this, as in literally happy. On the 19th of March, Joe and the rest of the dark magic users continue experimenting with shadow energy and the dark crystal, creating more powerful, destructive, and very, very uncontrollable technology ever before, in order to create destructive and very, very uncontrollable technology, in order for them to continue supplying it to the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders as well during at that time. On the 9th of April, Icewall exactly arrived on a planet's surface to greet Dark Master and Joe the Dark Druid was quietly present as Dark Master completely greeted as Dark Master completely greeted Icewall as an equal and exactly shook hands with him, remarked of their partnership and remarked of their association together, meaning in other words that they will continue their partnership and that they'll continue to aid each other as well. And Joe the Dark Druid was quietly present as in that meeting as well. On the 19th of April, Joe the Dark Druid was quietly busy experimenting with shadow energy and with more compatible shadow energy than ever before, and less of it. And the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches exactly appeared to him and telling him that Witchcaster and the other powerful Dark Witches such as Ember, the goddess of power, is searching for an unlimited dark energy of power, dark spell energy of power that could exactly control the balance of power, the cosmic balance of power, and everything else through it. Joe the Dark Druid exactly told the other Dark Druids and other Dark Witches to keep him informed on what exactly the Universal Magic Heroes and Magic Girl and the rest of the other Sacred Heroes exactly are doing with the source of the ultimate power and what exactly they're willing to do with it by any means necessary. And the other Dark Magic users completely agreed with him as well. On the 20th of June, Joe the Dark Druid was quietly present within a throne room as a member of the Order of the Five, completely exactly teleported in order to greet Dark Master at his throne room at the central headquarters of his home planet, or within his throne room. Greeted Dark Master, known as Master Shadow, exactly greeted Dark Master and told Dark Master that the partnership exactly still holds meaning, and that the Order of the Five will continue supplying Dark Master with more worlds and with more planets and with more planets under his control as part of the agreement, and as well as part of the deal. And Dark Master and Joe were completely pleased and very enlightened that they'll continue supplying the Order of the Five with more technology, with more compatible and powerful destructive technology, and like anything else ever seen ever before. And Joe the Dark Druid was completely happy and very, very successfully pleased as well. On the 20th of June, Joe the Dark Druid met up with Elodie Granny in secret within one of her secretive bases on planet Earth, and Elodie Granny told Joe the Dark Druid that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, and the schedule has exactly been set, and that the Order of the Five is exactly playing under their control and playing straightly right into their hands, and exactly following the rules the way it's meant to be. And Joe the Dark Druid was completely very happy and very completely satisfied with that as well. On the 10th of July, Joe the Dark Druid exactly began experimenting with a very powerful destructive device of a very much of a compatible technology combined by science and also as well as both of magic, able to exactly experiment it with the Dark Druids and Dark Witches and the faithful exactly assisting him in order to help him complete the machine and as well as his progress. And Joe was very happy and very, very grateful and pleased that the machine is making great progress and everything else within its mark of its parameter as well. On the 19th of July, Joe the Dark Druid exactly met up with Dark Master within at his throne room, telling Dark Master that everything else of the progress of the machine is quietly making its final preparation and that everything else is quietly completely set. Dark Master exactly told Joe the Dark Druid to hold the machine's progress and everything else and with the experiment, because there's a better plan in order to make sure that the progress will successfully exactly take place as well. On the 29th of July, Dark Master exactly revealed himself to the shadows of Joe's laboratory and exactly told the dark and powerful magic users to begin the experimentation right away. Joe and the rest of the 4 dark magic users, the Dark Witch, the Dark Faithful, the Dark Druid, and also Joe himself, began exactly combining shadow energy and infusing it straightly with Dark Master. Dark Master became more powerful and more extremely immortal than anything else ever before. He began to evolve, and his dark angelic wings began to evolve and adapt as the dark power and dark energy began coursing through his vein, making him more powerful and more dangerous and more extremely immortal than ever. And Joe the Dark Druid was completely very happy and successfully very proud of the progress as well. On the 10th of August, Joe the Doctor was quietly present as Icewall and Dark Master completely exactly spoke about their facing of their troubles and their problems, stated to him that the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes and the Universal Intergalactic Coalition and also as well the Intergalactic Coalition and the United Heroes pose a threat to the operation, and that they can never be underestimating, or their abilities can never be underestimating during the operation as they plan. Dark Master exactly told Icewall that they can use these heroes in order to cripple the Shadow Empire that's under the current leadership of Red Bull, and that's willing to wage war with the Star Empire, which in other words could stop the Universal Prince and the new Lord of Magic from rising in power and as well from ascending in power. And Icewall was completely reluctantly pleased with that and very much completely enlightened with how Dark Master proposed a very alternative way to end the conflict as well. On the 20th on the 20th of August, Joe the Dark Druid continued supplying the agents of the Sacred Five with more destructive and compatible technology to destroy worlds and planets and other systems and cities and planets and worlds and cities. And he told the agents of Sacred Five that these genetic bombs and that these genetic alien technology bombs are very destructive and a very powerful, which can create a very densive and destructive explosion on a far greater distance than ever before. Meaning, in other words, they should be very careful. And the agents successfully agreed that they'll exactly use the bombs for that in order to destroy the heroes and ending their lives once and for all. And Joe was completely very, very enlightened with that, as in completely very enlightened. On the 15th of September, Joe the Dark Druid exactly met up with Red Knight, who was a high-ranking member of the Order of the Five, and told him that everything else is going according to plan the way it's supposed to be, and everything else has been exactly arranged according to schedule the way it's needed to be, and that the schedule has been quietly set in place, and that the plans should exactly proceed on the way they need to be. And Red Knight was very much quietly reassured, as Red Knight exactly told Joe the Dark Druid that the plan better be the way it needs to be, otherwise there'll be consequences from both sides. And Joe was reluctantly pleased and very completely exactly reassured of Red Knight as well. On the 20th, on the 29th of September, Joe the Dark Druid returned to his secret laboratory where one Dark Druid exactly told Joe that the Universal Magic Heroes and the rest of the world heroes have managed to conceal and banish and trap the new Dark Energy Star Ultimate Power in a in another pocket dimension within the sacred ruins, within the new crystal dark temple that is quietly scattered away within the sacred universe, and that is quietly exactly protected by the most powerful, formidable dark magic users' followers. And Joe exactly was completely reluctantly pleased and very happy that everything else is going according to schedule, the way it's meant to be as well. On the 15th of October, Joe the Dark Druid met up with Kenny and Caroline, told them that he continued supplying them with endless destructive technology as long as they continue using that technology to create chaos and destruction throughout Earth and throughout planet Earth and throughout the rest of the citizens, to making sure that his master's control of the other civilization will exactly falter to Dark Master's control one way or another. And Kenny agreed that the Outer Circle's goals will come to bear fruit and everything else will follow according to plan. To this end, Kenny exactly shook hands with Joe and remarked that their partnership and their association, and Joe was reluctantly very satisfied and very happy with how things are about to go down and everything else was about to go in place, and he was completely very happy. On the 15th of December, Joe the Dark Druid exactly reported to Dark Master within his throne room and told him that everything else has been arranged the way it's supposed to be, and that the curtain can be finally set. The crippling of the Shadow Empire can now officially take place, with the war between the Star Empire and the Shadow Empire for sole control of the sacred universe, meaning Dark Master's empire will become the most dominant force throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence, and conquering the known sacred worlds of the sacred universe and of the sacred worlds, and as well the sacred nations and everything. Dark Master exactly told Joe to dispatch a sacred group of bounty hunters and mercenaries to actually hunt down the sacred heroes and the members of the Intergalactic Coalition of the Four Nation Hunters, and to purposely wipe them out and exterminate them. And Joe was very, very pleased with that he will exactly do as his master exactly tells him to do. On the 29th of December, Joe met up with a secret group of mercenaries and bounty hunters and gave them the commands of Dark Master and told them that they have to carry it out and have to exactly hunt down the Phoenician hunters and the members of the Intergalactic Coalition and as well the Universal Founders and the Sacred Heroes one by one and each member. And they have to be taken down and killed, dead or alive. And the mercenaries and the bounty hunters completely agreed and shook hands with Joe and saying that and told Joe that the command, the Dark Master's command is they will and that it shall be completed, and it shall be completed and it shall be done by his will. And Joe, the doctor, completely teleported strictly to his central headquarters of his laboratory and exactly told the dark magic users that now it's time for the experiment to begin taking place as well. Despite this, guys, Joe the Dark Druid is a very powerful dark magic user who is exactly extremely immortal and has exactly lived for many centuries and for many years. He possesses a very much of a dark, powerful, formidable dark magical staff within his hands, and he uses the staff with a great power for teleportation, to opening portals, to creating dark magical orbs and everything else. And his ability of teleportation and the ability of opening portals and the ability of reading minds and the ability of infusing dark magic and dark crystals all together with shadow energy and combining it all together and fully integrating dark technology with Shadow Empire technology and also with Dark Masters technology and in combining it all in one together to create destructive and very much powerful uncontrollable technology. Despite this, exactly, he views Kenny and Caroline as associates to his master's goals and also to his goals as well, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure Dark Master's reign and also his empire remains a strong and most vulnerable empire throughout the rest of the sacred world and throughout the rest of the known universe, that it will exactly conquer it and exactly lay waste to the known worlds and everything else. And despite this, he exactly respects Dark Master and then exactly will follow his orders and his will, and he'll exactly command them by any means necessary. He is very, very skilled in dark magic and in the dark arts, and he exactly is a current leader of the dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful. He leads them with great authority, and they experiment with shadow energy and also with dark crystals and everything else. And they use his central headquarters, his central headquarters of his laboratory to experiment and everything else. And he also is very, very great at maintaining his usual basis of operation and as well as his central headquarters of his laboratory, which is quietly within the world, which is quietly within the planet of Dark Masters reign and empire, where he can exactly experiment in full secrecy and also in the shadows, where he's exactly able to experiment with shadow energy and also the power of the dark energy, harnessing it in order to learn the secrets of immortality and power and death in the process. So the Dark Master's empire will become the most sufficient and most deadly and most powerful and most extremely the most greatest empire ever existed ever before. And he quietly exactly respected the original ruler magic, and he quietly respected him and quietly believed in his goals to exterminate and wipe out the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans in the process. Despite this, guys, Joe the Dark Druid is very intelligent, very, very skilled in creating dark destructive technology, and he's very skilled in dark arts and also in dark magic with the power of teleportation, the power of reading minds, the power of conjuring dark orbs, and the power of awakening and resurrecting the dead, and the power of creation, and the power of integrating technology, and the power of restoring, and the power of destroying planets with one full swoop, and the power of infusing shadow energy to his master, and the power of combining shadow energy with dark magic all in one to make sure that he's more stronger and more powerful and more greatly more immortal than anything else ever before. He's a great leader of the Dark Druids and of the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, who are the powerful dark magic users who follow his every command and every lead, and they will exactly follow him to the end, and he will exactly lead them with great authority. He believes in Dark Master's goals and is willing to make sure that they get to bear fruit, even if it means by wiping out and exterminating the free people, and as well the universal heroes, and as well as War Boy, and as well as Troll Boy, and the universal and the world heroes, and the universal founders, and the universal monster heroes in the process, and he's willing to take them down and wipe them out. He's officially an associate of the Outer Circle and officially an associate of the founders of the Order of the Five and also of the Sacred Five, and he's willing to supply them with destructive and powerful technology and ever before, so that their organization manifestations and their goals can also bear fruit, which in afterward of our future will exactly able to bear fruit for Dark Master's goals, so that Dark Master's goals can exactly bear fruit in a far future, in a far long future, so that he can become the sole ruler of planet Earth and of the rest of the sacred world, and of the rest of the sacred world, and of the rest of the sacred world, and of the rest of sacred existence in that process, so that he can exterminate and wipe out the 4 nation hunters and remove them out of the way, even if it means by using the monsters of the dark dimension, which Joe, the Dark Druid, is very skilled in opening portals to other dimensions and other worlds and to other pocket dimensions. He's obsessed with power, and he likes to see species exactly being exterminated and being wiped out. He's very great with his dark experiments, and he uses his dark experiments to exactly create dark genetic bombs and everything else in order to supply them to the agents of the Order of the Five and the agents of Sacred Five and the agents of Sacred Five, so that they can use his experiments and his genetic bombs to destroy worlds, planets, cities, and worlds throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred world and throughout the known worlds and throughout the planets of the sacred universe and of the sacred world as well in the process. So the Dark Master can exactly rule those worlds, and despite this, Joe the Dark Druid despises the Universal Prince and the members of the Order of the 12, and also the New Lord of Magic and the members of the Order of Power, and also the Star Prince, and also Red Bolt, and also the Shadow Empire. And is willing to make sure that they face their downfall by using the heroes as pawns, by using the United Heroes and the Universal Heroes as pawns in order to take them down, so that Dark Master's plans get to bear fruit in the process as well. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll exactly see you tomorrow. I have a blissfully wonderful day. Sorry for the noise after all, guys, though it was exactly the rain, quietly raining as well. But despite that, I'll exactly keep shooting, and I'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Have a blessed evening and an afternoon, and stay safe, and God bless you all. Take care. Bye. Bye.